my name is Sarah and welcome to my channel, Curious Sunshine, where I talk all about play. I talk about how to have a playful mindset, what it means to step into playful living, how play can be used as a tool for liberation, and how I've used play to amplify my life and get out of sticky situations. So before we get started, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and share it with those who you think can benefit from adding a little bit more play to their life. So today we are talking about 4 ways that we can gamify our life. So before we even get into that, what is gamification? Gamification means to implement game playing principles into other areas of our life. Rather, it's gamifying our career, our home life, our relationship, and really adding elements of fun to the things that we have to do anyways. So I think this is really important, especially as a play alchemist, because I want to help you add magic to the mundane and step into playful living. And there's so many ways that we could approach this, and where do we begin? And I feel like gamifying these simple things that we do in our everyday life is a great way to step into playful living and adding these elements of fun and joy into our everyday life. As I go through these tips and tricks, think about areas of your life that maybe feel boring, mundane, or can just use a little bit of excitement, and figure out how you can implement maybe one or some of these gamification techniques into your life to just bring more fun and liberate yourself from the mundane normalcy of everyday life. So let's get started. So the first way that we could gamify our life is through implementing the rule of time. So think about if there's anything in your life that you can add this element of a time limit to. And I know that sounds like kind of stressful, but it doesn't have to be. I think of creating timed activities for things that maybe seem a little tedious, that you kind of drag your feet to do in the first place, and think about how it would feel to create some time rules around this. For example, you have to clean your home. Which one sounds more daunting? Option A, I have to clean my home. Or option B, how much can I clean in 30 minutes? A little less stressful to know that you can be done in 30 minutes and figure out how much you can get done in that time. And if you want to add a little bit of extra magic into this, there's a few ways we can do this. One is looking at your PR, your personal record. If you only did so much in 30 minutes last week, can you beat that this week and do a little bit more in the 30 minutes? Or if there's multiple people in the space that is applicable to the situation, can you make it a competition? How much can each of you get done in 30 minutes and see who is able to accomplish the most within that time? It adds this element of fun, adds this element of action, and is a little less stressful than just having this daunting, tedious task that you have to do without a time limit. So really creating these rules around these things that we do, and a great way to do this is through time. Okay, so the second tip or way that we can gamify our life is through points. Is there an area of your life that you could apply a point system to? And this could be, I can see this as things that you do that's repetitive, or, even something as simple as a to-do list or your weekly workouts. Can you give yourself 5 points for every time you work out? Can you, give yourself a point for every check mark that you check off on your to-do list? And then, add these elements of, because games are fun, but they're even more fun when you get like a prize or something to shoot for. And so think about, what do you get if you reach 20 points? What happens if you get 50 points? Do you get something? And creating this reward system for yourself to help motivate you into getting these things done. And I think that's a great way. And it could be tiered too. Like, at 10 points, you get to treat yourself to a fun snack. At 50 points, you get to go out on, go treat yourself to dinner. Or at 100 points, you can treat yourself to an adventure. So there's so much ways that we can add points and create this point and reward system to these normal things that we face on our everyday life. So number 3 in how to gamify your life is, and this is fun for like the creative folks that are watching this video, is there something that you can add, or is there something that can be made into a song, poem, or a fun nursery rhyme to help remember? And I think when I think about this gamification tip, I think of things that maybe we need reminders on, or maybe more intricate processes, especially for work. Maybe, you're training someone on how to use office equipment. It's going to be more easier to remember how to do it if there's a fun rhyme or song that goes with it than to just be told the steps. So thinking of ways that you can make it a fun rhyme, maybe have some fun choreography that goes with it, and really figure out how you can amplify and create these things that can help us retain the information better as well. Number 4 of the 4 ways that we can gamify our life is, can you make it immersive? And so when we play games, especially, specific games, it really adds to the experience when we feel like we're immersed and we're part of the game. And so really thinking about ways that we can make this experience immersive. And for this, I think of maybe longer tasks that maybe take hours. Maybe you're working on a project or a paper, or something that, you have to dedicate your evening to. How do you make it immersive? And this and when I say immersive, I'm thinking of like, how can you incorporate more of a sensational experience? And this can be creating a playlist that you play, or some type of music you play while you're working on this project. Can you incorporate smells, whether it's a candle or incense? Is there certain clothing that you wear? Maybe you have like a book writing robe that you put on that puts you in the zone, and it's only for when you write books, and it's extra special. It could even come down to like snacks and lighting, right? Maybe when it's time to work on this project, you have this warmer, dim lighting. It's really thinking about ways that you can incorporate these sensory elements to enhance the experience that you have to do anyways. So you might as well make it fun and pleasing. And to add a little extra magic, of course, into this, is it something that could be themed? Maybe you're working on a project that goes over 1800s architecture. Can you play some music from the 1800s? Maybe, bust out your feather quill and ink to write, and think about all these different ways that you can cater into this and really get into the vibe of the project you're working on. Because again, we have to do some things that we have to do anyways, so you might as well figure out a fun way to do it to then, of course, liberate yourself from this dragging, oh, I have to do this, I have to. And it's like, oh, now I want to, because I could put on my special robe, I could put on my playlist, I can beat my personal record from last week. I can, I have my fun rhyme or poem that I do when I do it, so it helps me remember it and I don't miss any steps. So there's all these ways that we can gamify our life. And just know that this is just the tip of the iceberg on how we can approach life through this lens of gamification and playfulness. If you resonate with this, do you already implement gamification? Did one of these tips resonate with you? Feel free to put this in the comments, and maybe you can inspire others on how they can gamify their life and step into more playful living. Thank you for watching, and thank you for playing.